left the show last night, Adam Silver had released the statement. Right, Rob, where were we at? It's so much.
We talked about it, but the commissioner, we said, wasn't happy about it.
Oh, the Nets had released.
Right, you remember?
The Nets had released the statement saying he would be suspended for at least 5 games. He had to go through a litany of different things, sessions.
He was unfit right now to be with the organization.
He was unfit to be the organization. So, Rob, after the show, I spoke with somebody who's close to Kyrie. He's known him for years.
Yep.
Who was really worried because he knows Kyrie and knew. He said Kyrie is as we said too, stubborn and headstrong, and sometimes even when he knows he's wrong or made a mistake, he won't admit it. Even though he may learn from it, but he won't admit it.
But that's why we thought maybe that Chris, that if he didn't apologize to that point, what would make him change his mind? And that's what we were talking about last night, that he might not apologize and might not play or whatever, and then. 5 minutes later, I'm apologizing. Like he could have done this 3 days ago.
This person said it was reminding him, he was afraid it would be like the vaccination situation, where the more people pushed back and said you need to get vaccinated, the more he would dig in. And Rob, I went to bed thinking his career might be over.
Right, he might not play again, blah, 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 right.
Because if he wasn't going to apologize, then I don't think he was going to play this year.
And he had been given many opportunities, Chris, right? I mean,
yes, absolutely.
And the media did its job. Hey, are you anti-Semitic? All he had, Chris.
It's a simple question.
No.
Simple question. And he played his word games because he believes he's Semitic, because he believes African Americans are the Hebrews. Playing your word games, even then you could say no.
You still could say no.
You said I can't be anti-Semitic because of what, I know where I'm from.
Right.
Well, why don't you just say no? I'm not anti-Semitic against Jews of any type, whatever you want.
And Chris, it could have solved a lot of problems for him.
Right.
It's just you keep digging a hole and making it worse. You would not be attached with that. You wouldn't have any issues as far as them taking your money for not playing, and now you got to walk around with that tag. You know what I mean? Like basically, he was forced into it, and
honestly, look, I have said this, I believe it firmly. I don't believe Kyrie Irving is anti-Semitic. I don't believe he's anti-Jews, European Jews, whatever. Like I don't think he meant to put a message of hate out there. I think he made a mistake, a sincere, legitimate mistake. But I also think he only apologized because
he was forced to.
His back was against the wall.
Yep. He looked at it. Somebody got to him and said, dude, this is bad. Like this is not.
You about to lose. I mean, remember the suspension, Rob, is without pay.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
You're not getting your money. If you don't do this, you're not playing again. Probably ever.
You might not.
Rob, if he didn't play this year because of this, who's picking him up next year? Come on.
And we already talked about this.
I think his career is still in jeopardy.
We talked about this before, Chris, with Trevor Bauer. Did he pitch for anybody this year? Did I miss that?
No.
Huh? He was the highest paid player in baseball when they got rid of him.
And Rob, here's the other thing, because today a story from ESPN came out, Ramona Shelburne and Adrian Wojnarowski, saying that throughout this, so obviously there are a lot of people being critical of the Nets and the NBA for taking so long to do this. And the story, if the reporting of this story tells us that Joe Tsai, the owner, was trying to give Kyrie a chance to kind of, make it right himself by issuing an apology and so on and so forth. And yet, during that time, Kyrie would not return any of Joe Tsai's messages. The contact between the Nets and Kyrie that we would assume, this is before the Anti-Defamation League statement comes out.
Right.
According to this story, Kyrie and the Nets did not discuss that at all. It was Kyrie's agent, who's his stepmom, who was basically talking to the Nets on Kyrie's behalf. So he was not involved in any of that. And Rob, I mean, this whole thing is a mess. I'm sorry. What type of person are you that you want this man who's paying you tens of millions of dollars and a situation of your own doing and you won't return his text? I don't get that. And I've been, I think, as kind to Kyrie in this situation as you could hope for. Because I understand Kyrie is a young black man searching for his identity. And there's a lot of black people, period, like that, because we've been cut off from our identity, our historical identity. You start studying black history in America and you start in slavery. And we know our identity is not as slaves. So a lot of black people go on a search for their identity. And that's what he's doing. And I know many family, friends who've done it. They do it, though, anonymously. Kyrie's doing it in a fishbowl, where all his growth from Christianity to Islam to Native American religions to now, black Hebrewism, he's doing it in a fishbowl. So I got a little sympathy. I understand he's searching. But, Rob, you have made these mistakes time and time again, not getting vaccinated, leaving your teammates hanging. Now leaving your teammates hanging. They're playing tonight.
Right. And they
now
they're without
their
right.
second best player because they're in a hole already. And we could go on and on. And now you won't even return this man's text. If I'm the Nets, I am not cutting Kyrie because he's a great player and I've already invested millions into him. And I don't want him playing nowhere else if he ain't playing, if he's going to play basketball, right? But when he starts playing again, if over a significant chunk of time, nothing's changed, our record is still horrible, I don't care how many points he's averaging. If we're not playing well, we're not winning, this 2-6 or whatever they are continues, I probably cut him. I probably wipe my hands of him. I'm done with it.
It's hard to argue with that if he doesn't come back and doesn't play up to his ability and is no longer a distraction and just becomes the star guard that he is and everybody knows he is. And it's hard for me to argue with you on that because he's given you every reason to say, just be gone with it. Let's just wash our hands. This is another one. Every time we thought, okay, come back this year, he would just play. Durant came back. Just get the band back together. Yep. You got Ben Simmons who's healthy at least and, back out on the court, and it's going to take a little time. But you got everybody, Chris. Yep. Just play. Yep. Can we see it for 1 year if you guys just play? And then right away it's something that you don't need. He just saw Kanye go through this. We just saw it. Chris, it was live and in color, right?
Yeah.
Saw it.
And let me say this, too, because maybe, I think, Rob, this might be true for Kanye and Kyrie. And I get it. You can think this. They thought they got enough money to say and do whatever the heck they want.
No, you don't.
And they got tons of millions. I mean, I get it. You can be like, yo, I got that kind of money. I can say and do whatever I want. Guess who else had that kind of money? Donald Sterling.
Yep.
Robert Sarver.
They had that money.
I mean,
Daniel Snyder.
And they still got
Daniel
the money.
Snyder.
Right. Daniel Snyder.
And Chris, but it's worse because those guys were ostracized. Who's inviting Donald Sterling to anything? Like, you know what I mean? Like your standing in the society also is dropped. It's a big deal. You take a hit. You don't live in a vacuum.
Right. That's what people got to understand. You don't live in a vacuum. No matter how wealthy you are or whatever, and you still are in the midst of a society.
And then you also, Chris, you have family members and other people have to interact with people, and they look at you.
They got to answer.
You know who that is? Oh man, you know his cousin or his brother or his, you know what I mean? His Kyrie or whatever. Look at all the people who were hurt with Kanye and the schools. The teachers quit, Chris.
Right.
The kids were left. They don't come to our tournaments. This is the damage. It's not just about
the
you.
school is disbanded, right?
It's closed.
Right. How many people may have left school, good jobs in other schools because they want to support a black school that Kanye was putting together?
And now they're out of work.
Yep. And you're associated with that school.
Yep.
Right?